Some things in life we have no control over, like the weather. But if you're a small business owner that runs one of the best taco shops in all of Ontario, if not the entirety of the solar system, I don't know, then you can control preparing all of the food with heartfelt passion while only using the freshest of ingredients, while providing each and every customer with not only the best street tacos and other Mexican fare, but leaving them with a dining experience that will keep them coming back for more. I'm Wade Barris, we're at Nomada Tacos in Pembroke, Ontario, and this is Indie Business. Meet Vanessa and Jordan Beard, owners of Nomada Tacos. This husband and wife duo decided to leave the big city lights of Toronto behind them, move back to the Ottawa Valley, lay down their roots, start a family, and open up one of the best taco shops in all of the Nebula. I don't really know what a nebula is. I think it's like solar systems or something like that. But anyways, I sat down with Jordan to talk about what led him to this decision and what it was like to open up a restaurant in the middle of the global pandemic. A few things I didn't talk to him about is why Aiden is looking in the camera smiling. Also, I didn't talk to him about the conversation I had with his manager, Drew, about guitars. I was like, hey man, this is guitar. He's like, yeah, guitars are awesome. I'm like, I know, let's be friends. Let's get to the interview. I'm here with Jordan Beard, the chef and owner of Nomada's Tacos in Pembroke, Ontario. Jordan, thank you for doing this. So you're born in Ottawa, Ontario. You moved to Pembroke at a young age, and then in your early 20s or so, you moved to Toronto. Now, you're a musician like me. I think the goal was to pursue music. Connect the dots, please, if you will, of being in the music industry in Toronto to now owning a small business, a taco place in Pembroke, Ontario. There seems to be a pretty big, drastic jump in that. So what was kind of the point that led you to this direction, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so basically, being a musician, as you know, having a regular job is very hard, and being on the road, you can't really do 9 to 5, it's not a thing. So basically, I ended up in serving. And quick money, easy money, you could work shifts, it was easy, flexible, and that got me by for a long time. Eventually, I moved into a restaurant that basically was nothing I'd been in before. Like it was flavor-wise, blew my mind. It was Mexican. My buddy called me. He's like, "Dude, you got to come down here. You're gonna make good money every night. It's a Sunday. I just made this much money." I was like, "No brainer. Let's do this. Let's just go make some good money, have some fun." That day turned into, how do I sell this better? Mm-hmm. And I was so obsessed with the food. I couldn't believe that 2 bites of a taco could be that changing, and like that delicious. So basically, I asked the owner and my managers at the time, can I work the prep so I could just describe it better, explain it better. And that led me into a prep team, that led me into working the line a bit because I was interested, and it's just snowballed into now you're running kitchens and having fun and, you know, ditching everything else and cooking full time and taking it very seriously. It was something that clicked and that I was, missing. And from day one, it was just go time. And that kind of changed everything.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of times, a little bit later in life, you find what your actual passion is. I think the fortunate people are able to do that. So, given your passion for this, I think it's, a blessing in disguise, right? Now, Nomada's has been open since November of 2020, correct?
Yep.
So 2020, as we all know, that was during our global COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I'd assume that you had plans to open up Nomada's prior to that, right? So the plan to open it up before the pandemic hit versus the actual opening date, what all kind of changed in that, and what was some of the obstacles that you personally had to find to solve with the pandemic, just to kind of be able to open up a new small business?
So basically, Nomada was kind of like in the back of our minds, off and on. I left the city, I was starting a family, I moved home, and I was going to get out of the industry. I was going to not work these long hours and do all this crazy stuff. And, that sounds all great and all, but whenever really love doing this, it's something that you'll always miss no matter what. So we went back and forth. We reached out to a few different places to we see the space, and then we kind of chickened out, and it's not the right time. Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we just have a baby, and that kind of just ended up rolling into COVID. COVID came, hit, you stop working, and now you have I stopped working for only about 3 months at the time, but that 3 months, the wheels are just going constantly, and yeah, that was the time to like really think, okay, what do you really want to do? What's really going to make you happy? What the hell? Let's just try this. So we reached out to look at spaces, and there was a few. We came down, my wife and I, and looked at one and just said, let's just try it. Let's just take this risk and see what happens. So really before, it was kind of like, oh yeah, have a glass of wine, you're talking about how you're gonna have this cool restaurant one day, blah, 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 blah. And the fact that COVID hit, and then we talked about it even more and more and more, and we're in it, that's really what started it all. Before that, it was just kind of like a pipe dream that we never really, I don't think we're taking super seriously.
But I think it would have to kind of show, be a testament to your drive, is to, because I know a lot of people had major issues maintaining a restaurant during COVID. For you, it was opening up during all of this.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You didn't just have kind of, your regular customers. You haven't had a chance to really establish your
no,
clientele or bring people into your community. So,
Yep.
The fact that you chose to continue on with that and to have, what is now a successful restaurant, I think is pretty remarkable.
A big thing was, takeout was just blowing up. People were at home, they had nothing to do, and the takeout was just going crazy. So I think that kind of like sparked a thing, like, okay, there's an opportunity here that we looked at as a positive, that, worst case scenario, we're a takeout spot. I can run it with just me and my wife if we have to, and we'll just, do it that way if that's all it's gonna be. Like, we had no idea it would ever grow to this, dine in and all that stuff. For the first year, I think we were allowed to have 6 people in the building, kind of thing.
That is a good point, though. I think that you might have been, I say fortunate, that you could adopt that business model for strictly takeout to get you by.
Yep.
But I'd imagine it'd be a lot of hard work, but and a lot of kind of things coming down the pipe that may not make sense during that time, but I think it might have been a little bit more beneficial that you were just starting your business, so it's not like you're having to adapt to changes that you've had for quite a while. So
we've had to adapt and change to going back to normal.
Yeah, that's true.
That's COVID was normal. That was
it, yeah.
normal. Like it's like I couldn't imagine. I feel like anyone who had to go through it, it must have been extremely hard. But we knew no other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that were in that situation, that your way to adapt is to figure out what your normal actual is.
Yeah.
Because you've just been doing not normal since you opened. So that's an interesting way to put it. Now let's go to your opening day. So your opening day would be, obviously with COVID kind of shut down, your opening day would be far different than maybe a different restaurant's opening day. What was going through your head that day? I'd imagine you would have had a lot of stress because you actually see that door opening up and you're serving customers. So just walk me through what you're kind of going through that day.
It's a bit of a blur, but all I can tell you, there was one moment I had to go to Home Depot, and I got into the car with my wife, and I borderline had kind of like a panic attack. The phone was going off here constantly. I was just trying to tie up all the loose ends. Like, it was me, my wife, and my mom, and it was just, this became real.
Yeah.
I took 2 months to get to that time. So the first 2 months were, decorating, painting, and building a bar, and, buying the equipment and things like that. So it was kind of like that day hit like a ton of bricks. Like, oh, this is real. We're doing this. People are coming, and it's go time. We unlock the door, look up the street. I mean, there's a massive line up the street. It's COVID. Everyone's doing their space and things. So, like, it was just very like, okay, let's, there was nothing to do besides just let's cook, let's go, let's just see what happens here.
Yeah.
And we got through it. It was crazy. We closed an hour. We were only open for 4 hours. We had to close an hour early. Ran out of food, ran out of everything. Pembroke really surprised us. We were just like, wow, that was very overwhelming. Like we thought, it'd be kind of cool, people trickling in or whatever. So it was not. It was the opposite of that.
So to kind of touch on that, Pembroke, for those who don't know, it's about 15,000 people, give or take. So it's a smaller community. It doesn't have established markets. Say like in Toronto, there'll be different, I guess kind of boroughs or however you want to put it. How has the community embraced Nomada's Tacos and you and your family?
We're absolutely overwhelmed with the way things have been. I mean, we still have people that from day one, they came on day one and they've been a regular customer this whole time. It's very weird, in the city there's shows or there's things that bring people to certain areas and they go to certain restaurants so that you kind of can be like, oh, there's going to be rushes this day is going to be busy because of this. Here it's just like, really hope everyone wants tacos today.
Yeah.
And after 3.5 years almost now, the community has been great. The regular faces that we see, we love them, we talk to them, their kids are here all the time. And we coming home to a small town, you really get that vibe here, and we're really, really, really fortunate to have that.
Now, I spent a little bit of time with you in the kitchen earlier today. I watched you cook a little bit. Now, it's not common knowledge that, or it is common knowledge that you take a lot of pride in what you're serving to people, always freshest ingredients. Where did that all come from? Is that something that you adopted from your time at the restaurant in Toronto, or is that just something inherent that you've had that you want to be able to have the top quality of everything?
I got to give that to the old restaurant. Like the owner Dave was just incredible, and it was no discussion. It's just that's the way it is. That's how you do it, and we try and do it as best as we can here every single day. Fresh is best, and we take a lot of pride in making it. It's a lot of extra work, but it's just kind of what I've been taught, and it's just been in me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
And you can definitely tell it's for those who haven't tried Nomada's, I highly recommend it. It's definitely a taste that you're going to be having your taste buds welcome, because everything's fresh, everything's good, and it all kind of hits you in the best possible way. Now, I want to you have your own hot sauce, right? Can we just talk about that?
Absolutely. So this is our table hot sauce. It's something we added later on. I think we've only been doing it for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years at the most. We wanted to get a hot sauce that was hot, but not to the point where it ruins your dinner. We don't take all this time and do all this prep for you to just sweat and want to be sick. We started doing it. We started putting it on the tables, and people just were asking for it. We were selling it in these little 2-ounce containers so much that we decided to, now we bottle it and sell it fairly regularly. It's I think a good sauce. It's well balanced, and I think it goes on everything.
And where could somebody find this if they'd like to purchase it? Just in store? Or?
Yeah, in store for now. You never know. Maybe one day.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But right now in store,
The last thing is, as you know, part of this for indie business is we profile the small business. The last half it is I ask if I'm able to perform a couple songs in your establishment. Are you cool with that?
100%.
Okay, let's get going.
Let's do it.
This is one of my own songs called Shallow Holes.
Of these full moon sins, cold ball air sobering like the state we're in, doesn't quite add up, but the vengeance, that's enough. Marks on my hands to show we paid. What comes first, the pencil or the blade? 30 red lights of the muzzle flash, that's nothing new to me. Realize that behind these eyes there's some things I can't unsee. Keep digging those shallow holes as nothing sets me free. Make sure you save 2 blocks, that's one for you and me.
Thanks to the owners and staff at Nomada Tacos. If you want to see more content just like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm Wade Barris, this is Indie Business, and remember, always support the local.